Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Harakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great most under rule well, and Shalom to the brothers to the white Syrian truth. Uh, yeah. Yeah, it's funny because, like, a lot of hoo-ha, a lot of hubbub, a lot of hoorah has basically just been, like, blowing up in the news. And it's kind of funny. It's funny as well still. Because you had basically you've had for like I think maybe the last year and a half kind of range. You had a few states in the U.S. that were looking to done out abortion. And I think they succeeded in like what was it, Alabama, and yeah, it was Alabama. Um, but yeah, it's you basically had it. I think it started off in a few southern states, and now you've had, you had something come out from the U.S. Supreme Court where they'll basically looking to repeal Roe v. Wade, which is basically what allows abortion to happen in the US. That's kind of what the bedrock is built on. And, women obviously have been losing their shit. People online been losing their shit because that's one of the bedrocks of, what is allowed for women to basically participate in society, as equals, and then even surpassing men, really, in a lot of aspects. So, read this. Says still in shock is on AP News. Still in shock. Still in shock. Abortion defenders foes stunned by leak. So yeah, and, you got women everywhere. What do you call it? Killing babies today. It's funny because you've had men that have been protesting abortion from like years on end. Like they'll just chill outside abortion clinics and just shout facts at women to mess them up for when they're going in there. And it's funny because there was a clip brother sent one in the group chat and sent the group chat where it was basically just like women saying like talking about abortion, saying, "Oh, do you regret the abortion?" Yeah, the Jake won't go fuck them kids. And that's a mentality. That's how messed up, the mindset's become. And that's why it's like abortion is legit just like the normalest thing. And it's like even women that ain't even had an abortion, they'll fight for it because they know that's the bedrock of like that's something that they need to have as an ace in the hole. So they can maintain, they're essentially looking to continue. If they want to be able to live their life, that's the ace they need up their sleeve. So it says the phones. I'm gonna skip because it's just bare fucking shit. Okay. So it says people on both sides of the abortion divide have been expecting the Supreme Court this summer to reverse a landmark 1973 Roe v. Wade case that legalized abortion nationwide. But many said the draft opinion was nevertheless stunning, forcing them to reckon with the reality the nation is likely to enter soon. I can't stop crying, said an elated Mississippi State Rep Becky Curry, who sponsored the 2018 law that is the basis for the Supreme Court case. I'm not quite sure I have the words to express how I feel right now, but God has had his hands on the bill since the beginning. The leaked draft published late Monday by Politico is a 98-page opinion in the Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization, which challenged the constitutionality of the Mississippi bill that banned abortion after 15 weeks. If the decision stands as written, it would also overturn Planned Parenthood versus Casey a 1992 decision that protected abortion services, even though it allowed states to add some limitations. So, the funniest, well, okay, let me read this. Let me read this first. So Jeremiah 31:22 says, "How long wilt thou go about, O thou black backsliding daughter? For the Lord Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man." And it's funny because if I can't remember where I watched a video, but it's like more or less was going into and breaking down how birth control and abortion were like that's essentially what allowed women to enter the workforce, to actually participate in society like men as they do presently. That's what allowed, the scripture to be fulfilled for women to compass a man. Because you have women basically able to go out and, they can be as promiscuous as they desire. And then, the natural knock-on effect, the natural fail-safe against that, which is what, you're going to get pregnant, you're going to bear a child. And then, as long as there's no mischief, then, 9 months, 10 months later, then the youth's going to spring out. So that, that essentially is, been thrown in the bin through whichever means necessary. Assassinating the youth in the womb. And, that's allowed women to kind of go out, do their thing, and they've been empowered. They've been able to go and build themselves up. And it's funny because like the Roe v. Wade case, I remember watching a video on it a while back. Like the chick that was I think the Roe in that case, she was she like it was so originally anyway it was a rape case. And then she admitted like a few weeks after that she just made it all up. So it's like it's actually just the wildest shit. It's the most suspect kind of situation overall. So the fact that that it's been a thing, it just shows this is it was more about, it didn't really matter what the grounds was. It was more just for given the what do you call it, given the space for women to be able to go out, and participate in in a workforce and certain things, to crumble certain various aspects of society, family wise, and traditional roles of like men and women serving society. All these things basically just being crumbled. And yeah. Like now it's funny because it's like it's basically getting pulled up, and it's like women are kind of taking that shit for granted, which is funny because it's like even with like Northern Ireland, I think it was was it Northern or I think it was Northern Ireland. It was only until maybe like 2019, somewhere very recently. Yeah, very recently. Let's see. '20 2019. Fucking hell, 2021. Oh, within like the last 3 to 4 years is like when abortion actually became legal. So it's like some places it's not even like in the West, even it's not even been a thing like that. So it's kind of wild. And it really like the women that mess with that. It's like you can see the legendary demons upon them, man. So the leaked draft published which challenged the constitutional bill ban after 15 weeks. Okay, wait. The leaked draft, published late Monday by Politico, is a 98-page opinion in Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization, which challenged the constitutionality of the Mississippi bill that banned abortion after 15 weeks. If the decision stands as written, it would also overturn Planned Parenthood versus Casey, a 1992 decision that protected abortion services even though it allowed states to add some limitation. Roe was egregiously wrong from the start. The draft opinion states it was signed by Justice Samuel Alito, a member of the court's 6-3 conservative majority, according to Politico. Four other justices, Clarence Thomas, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett, have agreed with the opinion. The draft opinion was written in February, and the language could change before the court issues its final ruling. As written, it would give states the power to decide the legality of abortion. Roughly half, largely in the South and Midwest, are likely to quickly ban abortion. Yeah, I think a bunch of them already have laws that are basically there that are conditional. If Roe v. Wade, gets overturned, then it's gonna instantly become illegal to perform an abortion. So that's why it's like even after you had like the one in Alabama, it's like you had people, women crossing borders to basically get abortions and whatnot. So it's not even like it's gonna be done, but it's basically where women are gonna be feeling the heat. This is the thing, is that whole illusion of of equality of women being a woman surpassing a man essentially. That's all gonna like when you get into a situation like what's going on in Ukraine, all of that is gonna crumble and cease to even matter. No one's gonna give a shit. When in Ukraine right now, if a woman gets knocked up by one of the soldiers that been going around, forcing themselves on women, then it's a wrap. Like like certain regions, it's like if it's been blasted to a certain extent, you ain't gonna have access to those things. You're gonna have to deal with that like it's the ancient world where you just have to have the youth, because otherwise you're gonna fucking die. But hey, that's yeah. That's how fucked it is, man. Amos 7:17. It says, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord Jehovah, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword." Yeah, your wife will be a harlot in the city. That's the key point. Because why? It's one of the things. Like I said, birth control and abortion. That's the bedrock of what allowed women to go out here and conduct themselves like men, where they're basically able to, go be promiscuous, participate in the workforce. There's hella women that they'll have period problems, and it's like, irregular period, these other things are going to be knock-on effects from various other issues, like, your weight, like your diet, like, your lifestyle, and various other things. That'll impact it. And, they'll just use birth control to basically cease having a period as a form of treatment. That's the level of commonality that these things have. Like it's used hella. So yeah. So with like that level of normalization, it's like it's women losing access to those things. It's gonna be peak. It's gonna be hell for them. Isaiah 29:16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as a potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? Yeah. Esau's essentially flipped everything by putting women into the place, of men of dominance, where they're, ruling. They're able to go out, have their autonomy, essentially murk off their kids, so they can maintain, their lifestyle, their so-called freedoms, that hedonistic, self-centered lifestyle. These are the things that are basically being offered. It's like, why, using the birth control and whatnot to be like, okay, I don't want to have kids. I got to focus on my career. I'm gonna go and enjoy this. I'm gonna go and do that. You look, the pride of life. But hey, these are things that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai already set order for. Men have what they have their role. They're meant to lead. They're meant to go out uh, sow and reap, and basically, support and be the head, be the leadership, and build the house. And women are meant to maintain. They're meant to raise the kids, manage the household. They have their role and their energy to bring certain things. It's not, you don't have two of the same, you know, working together. But all that obviously that's all been thrown in the bin. In the modern times, it's everything's flipped. And it really is just saying like, oh yeah, the Most High set up how he set up, but yeah, this is a superior method. It is it not yet a very little while, and Lebanon shall be turned into a fruitful field, and a fruitful field shall be as esteemed as a forest. And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. Wait, was that okay? Where's the thing? Okay, no. I had the point. Let's read a bit more. So it says the draft opinion was written in February, and language could change before the court issues its final ruling. It's funny as well, because like they said, that shit was written in February, so that was dropped like 3 months later. Why? Because now it's being blasted in the news. It's obscuring people from the shit that's going down. Like what? Interest rates just went up. The fucking inflation, just been on the up and up. And what would you have as well? You had negative. The GDP grew negatively. So it's like, that happens back to back. Then it's officially a recession. But it's been a recession. Like everything, especially considering the fact that like everything's been inflated just by all the money going out. That's the only reason that people have been able to sustain themselves. But in reality, what? A lot of shit's just been crumbling. And monetarily, once that squeeze comes, it's gonna get peak. The food alone, food and energy, them two, especially in the UK. In the UK, the energy's peak as fuck because you had the energy crisis before, and now you had what's her name, Ursula von der Leyen, I think it is, or something like that. Ursula, the EU head thingy, saying that the EU's looking to basically ban all Russian oil imports, and in 6 months, and then everything in 12 months. So they're basically looking to done it, and obviously there's certain people that are just like, nah, that's not even a thing. Because that's why it's like Bulgaria and Poland, them getting cut off by Putin, then it's like, yo, shit's peak. So yeah, there's things going down, but this is going out. Why? To just be at the forefront in people's minds, and kind of just why it's all chaos because there's just too much. People already been burnt out. It's just too much. They ain't gonna be able to keep up. They ain't gonna be aware. They're gonna be thinking like, yo, everything's going to shit. I need salvation, and that's where the mark comes in. That's where they're gonna be looking to Esau. They're gonna be looking to the system for salvation. So it says the daily rituals unfolded as they always do. Some protesters screamed at people walking inside, while other abortion opponents prayed. Clinic escorts tried to show patience and hustle them in the doors. Please overturn Roe v. Wade, said Barbara Beavers, who stood outside the clinic in Jackson, Mississippi on Tuesday, gently trying to persuade people against going inside. Have mercy on our unborn children. We're killing our future, killing our babies. Oh, so it's actually got the states. So, okay, a leaked draft, blah, blah, blah. So, in other cases, guaranteed the right for negative 15, leaving such laws to states. So, abortion restricted in most cases. So, is that fucking Texas? I don't know these states, man. I think the yellow one, 6 weeks, is Texas. I'd assume. Or maybe not. Fuck knows, man. I don't know these states. But yeah. And said there's 2 with no restrictions. Jesus. No, wait, 1, 2, 3. Alaska 4. 5, 6. No, that's a lake, right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what does it say? Attempts to restrict abortion early in pregnancy have been blocked by courts. Oh, so that shit would be fucking thrown in the bin too. Huh. Peak. So yeah, that's and it's funny because they always say like, oh, but what if a woman's been raped, or what if it was incest? I'm like, bruh, the women out here, like they said, like 98% are just doing it because it's a life choice. Wicked as all hell, man. Legendarily wicked. Micah 7:10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord Yahweh thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her, now she shall be trodden down as a mire of the streets. Yeah, all the luster, all the shine, all the glamour we have access to. Those things are at its end. You've had the general kind of leaning of society just to where especially it's like Amber Heard, man. Amber Heard is doing a number on women's women's on women in general, man, making women look all kinds of messed up, fucked. Because why? It's only gonna get worse when it comes to a high pressure, high tension situation. It becomes a completely different ball game. That's why the women and children got to fuck off out of Ukraine, and the men that were in fighting age, didn't matter if they were trans women or whatever, they still had to fucking they got a fucking AK put in their hands, and they had to fucking shoot at some Russian youths. Hell. What is it? It's not. Okay. 32. Okay. Isaiah 32:11. Tremble, ye women that are Salak. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, yea, all the houses of joy in the joyous city. Yeah, tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. All that ease, all that comfort, all that carelessness is coming to an end. And it's funny because it's just that that little law. And that's the thing. It's like that's that's kind of shows how fucked it is. What you need to do to maintain this level of liberation for women. And it also shows like how easy that shit can just go in the bin. Because and the thing is like I said, Ukraine is a prime example. The shit went in the bin. Women were not trying to be like men that day. They fucked off out of the country. They fucking swiftly departed but they were gone. They were done out. They got their ass into Poland. They fucked off across the border. They were not playing around. They didn't want to chill. They weren't having no protests. They weren't saying shit. They fucked off out. It's gonna be peak. But yeah, I'll leave you there. Shalom. Shalom.